Hello, Hazard from Hazard Reviews here, ready to do a review. Now, I know I said I was going to do something else, but I'm taking a little bit more time with that video because, there's a lot more I have to do with it. But for this, I feel like it's simple enough. I can easily just pump it out and do this review, which is something I think a lot of people. Not sure. I'm sure there's a few people out there who will be pleased to hear me review this. Labyrinth. Now, this film is off. It does have a is known to have a cult following. It after it bombed completely at the in when it was originally came out, and it's grown more and more considering just how much talent who was involved in the film passed away in the years after it. Of course, we all know that Jim Henson passed away 4 to 6 years after the film was made. David Bowie obviously passed in 2016. And the producer of the film, I believe, or was the writer anyway, well, was Monty Python member, the late Terry Jones. So, yeah, there's a lot of talent who is sadly not with us, who were involved in the making of this, and it's worth, talking about it. Now, the premise is quite simple. A young teenage girl who has dreams of fantasy is in a position in her life where she feels, underappreciated. And is extremely jealous of a young baby brother. So, using the words she learns from her fantasy novels that reads or whatever English fantasy that she learns, because it's very based of English British fables. She wishes that her baby brother is taken away, and to her surprise, the wish comes true when the Goblin King Gareth, I think that's how his name is, takes the baby and tells her that she only has about 10, 16, 13 hours to get through his labyrinth to his castle in order to save her baby brother. So the young girl goes through the labyrinth and initially has trouble, but with the help of a couple of friends that she makes along the way, who are fantasy creatures, one being a troll, one being a fox riding a dog, and the other being, I don't know what that other one is. For personally, it's my favorite character. It goes on a tag along to help her save her little brother all while she learns a few things about herself along the way. So let's start with what makes this work. What's the best thing in it? First off, well, of course, the puppetry by Jim Henson is fantastic. Each of these creatures are very distinct, very memorable, and have so much personality with them. I mean, Jim Henson really really had a passion doing these fantasy stories. I mean, of course, his first one after his first two Muppet movies, he of course did the Dark Crystal, which I haven't yet seen yet, but probably will be down the track. But then, of course, he did Labyrinth. Then obviously he didn't direct any more films, but of course he did do other, fantasy projects on television. So yeah, he obviously had a great design philosophy when it comes to fantasy films, and it really shines through here. The set design is fantastic. The painted backgrounds, the way each of the sets themselves, how the puppetry works with everything, they all look fantastic and they're phenomenal. I love that this is a simple story, try a girl, trying to save a teenage girl trying to save a baby brother from a goblin king. That's the basic premise, and it works. I appreciate it. The songs are all fantastic. They're really good to listen to and have fun. Obviously, Bowie sings pretty much all of them. I think, with the exception of one, which I will admit, which I'll probably get to a little bit later when it comes to, I'll talk a little bit later about it. The effects are all really good, with some exceptions. Again, talk about that later. And then, of course, we have the performances. Now, of course, we all know David Bowie's iconic performance as the Goblin King, and yeah, he's fantastic. But actually, I want to highlight another person who deserves equal attention, who I think is perhaps the most underrated performance, and that's Brian Henson as the Goblin, who works alongside, who helps the young teenage girl. Obviously, if you don't know, Brian Henson is Jim's firstborn son. I'm not sure if that's his old. I think it's his third child, if I'm correct, or five. I'm not sure. I have to double check that. But Brian is now the CEO of the Jim Henson Corporation, the Jim Henson Company, and is also and of course directed the likes of the Muppet Christmas Carol and the Muppet Treasure Island. So he has a lot of experience, but of course he also did a lot of puppetry too. I mean, he took over a lot of the roles, a few of the roles that his dad after his dad passed away, and also of Richard Hunt, who you will recognize from the Muppets as Scooter or Sweetums. And I'm not sure, and maybe he did a few of the Sesame Street characters Hunt played. I don't know. I'll have to double check that one. But yeah, that he is fantastic as this troll who is a hoarder of jewelry and that. He is fantastic. Or goblin, I should say, sorry. But I should go over a couple things that don't exactly work. Now, while I said pretty much all the performances are great, the only sole exception is Jennifer Connelly as the teenage girl. She's not bad, and she gets better over time, but yeah, when she's whining and some of her, I don't know, some of her, there are just some scenes where she really doesn't work. I mean, it's strange. It's a very uneven performance, and I think some people can find it a bit annoying. Plus, I also want to say is that unlike, with the exception of Brian Henson, and I think Kevin Clash, who Muppet fans will know as the original voice of Elmo from Sesame Street, pretty much all the puppeteers' voices were dubbed with British actors. And I don't know. I don't mind that what Jim was trying to do here to get more of a British angle of it, because it's based on English folktales. But yeah, I don't know. Kind of am used to. I kind of want to hear the likes of Richard Hunt, Jerry Nelson, Frank Oz, Dave Goelz, Fran Brill. They're the original Muppet puppeteers, and they all pretty much all of them worked on this. So what's stopping them from using their voices? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they thought maybe they all agreed it was for the best. They had their voices dubbed. I don't know. Plus, as I said, there are some effects that don't really hold up, like the opening, like some of the shots of the owl, which is supposed to be the Goblin King, also supposed to be the Goblin King. I don't know. It's not perfect, but it works most of the time. Plus, with the one song I think that David Bowie doesn't sing is when the teenage girl is attacked by these headless monsters. The green screen is really bad, like really, really bad. Like a lot of the green screen shots hold up pretty well, with the exception of that scene. Oh my gosh, that was I was snickering as I was watching it because that was really bad. Because I was impressed with the rest of the effects, but at one scene, I'm sorry if you like that scene, all the power to you, but I could not get past those effects with that scene. Like everything else, pretty much every other effect looks good, with the sole exception of that. I can even tolerate some of the owl shots, just not that. I'm sorry, but then I will admit the ending is a little strange to me. Like after she, after the girl saves her brother, she said her friends from the labyrinth attempt to say goodbye, and I don't know how it ends. I mean, I can understand why they did it and everything she's learned, but I don't know. Like, yeah, there's just a little bit of a inconsistency, like with one part just before the first friend says goodbye. Like, I don't know. You'll have to watch and see for yourself. It's just me. I'm not. It's not bad. And it's sweet, but I don't know. I was a little confused. But yeah, Labyrinth is a fantastic film. Definitely more people should watch it. In fact, I even would argue that some younger children should watch it. It's actually not as scary as you may think. I mean, I I would say with the Dark Crystal at the very least, you might want to watch it first before you show kids. But Labyrinth, on the other hand, is much more tamer, and I think should be the first fantasy film a child should be shown because it's really good. Yeah, I give Labyrinth an 8.5 out of 10 hat stars. It's a great film, definitely worth being put among the you know the highest of Jim Henson's career. Dave, and of course David Bowie's as well. Yeah, it's a fantastic film. Definitely go watch it. So as for what's next, well, hopefully I can get that big video I was planning to do first done out of the way. And then I've got maybe one other big review coming up as well, but I want to get that first video completed. Hopefully, maybe I can get it done soon. But in the meantime, this is Hazza from Hazza Reviews out, and I shall see you for my next video. Ciao!